Hello, hello. I want to talk about something really quickly. And what I want to talk about is you remember when I talked about how, this whole thing came out about Glorilla, with her sister coming out, talking about how she pretty much abandoned the family and she hasn't done anything for the family since her fame. Said she bought her mother a little apartment and then but buying the father all kind of cars and stuff and haven't done anything for the siblings in the family. Okay, I want to say, mind you, that everybody's able-bodied, and I'm going somewhere because see, I just saw a little clip with Clarissa Shields. I just started really watching Clarissa Shields, and I just watched her boxing competitions, and I saw like a few of her MMA competitions. Okay, and so I've been interested in seeing a little more about Clarissa Shields, just more of her boxing and stuff, because she's a real, she's a good, she has potential to be like she gives me female Mayweather. Okay, she's going to be another one that's just going to be probably an undefeated female of her particular time. I think she's just going to be that. Okay, Layla Ali was undefeated during her time. And I believe Clarissa Shields is just going to be undefeated as far as boxing is concerned. I believe she's going to be undefeated, for her time. Okay. So she's the greatest female of her particular time right now. But I've just been more interested in looking at little clips concerning Clarissa. Now, a lot of them mess with Papoose and Remy Ma. I don't really get into all that stuff. I don't care about what these people do in their personal lives. I don't have no room to judge nobody. She do whatever the heck she want to do. I don't care. And but here's what I want to say. So I'm gonna go back to Glorilla and how the family first, the sister came out talking about how Glorilla just abandoned the family after she became rich, and then you had a couple of other siblings that came out and said the same thing. And I remember talking about the mother finding out that she just really let the kids pretty much go hungry. And I think one of the siblings said that the mother was getting food stamps, and she was giving food stamps to another man while letting her kids starve. And then at that point, I said, the government is giving you assistance and you still don't feed your kids like you should, but you give it to another man. And that's when I say, if that's true, because I'm going to say allegedly, if that's true, Glorilla don't owe her anything, because true enough, she did have a roof over her head, even though they never really slept on a real mattress, and Glorilla didn't get a chance to get on a real mattress until she moved in with her father at the age of 15. But I don't know why Glorilla's father chose her, because I think he's the same father for all of the kids. I think he's the same father for who they call Brorilla. Was the Scarface Woods? What's her real name? Victoria Woods. I think they had the same father. So I don't know why he chose Glorilla to choose for her to come to the hotel. But granted, a roof was provided over her head though all that time. Her mother did make sure she went to school. Her mother made sure, whatever, I guess basic needs might have been taken care of, except for maybe food, I guess. They were hungry. But Glorilla was not entitled to just use all her money to spend on her family after she became famous. And I'm going to tell you why. Because now I'm about to go to Clarissa Shields. I saw a clip with Clarissa Shields. And she was talking about how when she became famous, she was very generous with her money. When she became famous, she said she bought everybody a car. She said she bought all of her siblings a car. I think she probably did even more for her parents. Now, her parents didn't do much for her, though, because I think her mother had a drug problem and her father had his problems too. I don't know what it was, but they both had their issues, okay? And she was unprotected as a little girl, I'll just say that much. And if you watch Tasha K's interview with the lady who was supposed to be her cousin, if you saw that interview, then you'll see things that happened to Clarissa Shields when she was a little girl. So then she was unprotected too, okay? But yet and still, even with all of that, when she became famous, she bought everything for her siblings. She bought all of her siblings a car. She did a lot for her mother and father. And one of her sisters, she takes care of her 3 kids, her sister. No baby daddies around to help support the children. This is what happened when SNAP was during the government shutdown. Now you have other people who really needed it that have like disabilities and all other kind of stuff going on, elderly, stuff like that. There's some people that might be permanently on it because they have certain disabilities where there's nothing that they can do. They cannot get out and function like the average person because their life is not like that, okay? Some people have severe intellectual disabilities or, other stuff going on. And so some people just have to be on it. But you have other ones. I saw a lot of women who was getting online, especially TikTok, with multiple children by baby fathers, and they would complain and get on Donald Trump or get on the government, but mostly the Trump administration, and call him out because of their SNAP benefits. And you just never ever hear these women look to the men who got them pregnant for anything. And the same thing, the same thing with Clarissa Shields. She took in her sister's kids, and I think the sister may stay with her too. But the kids, she said in this little clip that I saw, that the kids are staying with her. 3 kids staying with her. That's a young lady who don't have kids herself. She, you know what I mean? I would say that she should be enjoying her life and not having to be dealing with those kind of responsibilities when she's not the one that had children. But you never know. When you have family, sometimes you feel obligated to your family. But she almost started to cry, and I could tell that she wanted to cry, but she didn't let any tears come out where it could be seen. But I could see where she was really getting choked up about how none of it is appreciated. All of the stuff that she has done for her family, none of it is appreciated. She said she feel like the more she do for them, the more they seem to hate her. I think she said the more they seem to dislike her. She said the more that she does for them, the more they seem to dislike her. Okay? So on the one hand, you got this stuff with Glorilla where people calling her out. Well, some people call her out because some people say she don't owe them anything because they are able-bodied people and she should not have to spend her hard-earned money because she worked hard to get where she was. Okay, for 2 years, she couldn't get anywhere and she finally hit. So she didn't just all of a sudden blow up overnight. She had to put that work in for 2 years. Okay? But, people expected after all of Glorilla's hard work that she put in, and when she finally got famous and started getting some money, she was supposed to be spending all this money on her family. Well, Clarissa Shields did this, and here she goes. She's not appreciated. And I hear this so much. Who else did I hear this from? It's another person that they had a reality show in the early 2000s. It's not Keisha Cole. It was somebody else who was famous. And she was talking about how everybody got their hand out, and then once everybody get what they want, they out. Okay, So that's what I'm talking about. Is that this is the issue with people in general, but I'm gonna tell you, especially with the BC, okay, the so-called black community, especially with them. They have a victimhood mentality and very entitled. And it's nothing you can do to help a group of people who refuse to take accountability. I stay away from the BC because for the most part, they are indoctrinated. They are programmed to believe they are victims. They are programmed to believe that they can never amount to anything because the white man is holding them back. Okay? They are programmed to believe that. Okay? And so I don't mess around with them. Even with all the gang violence that was going on. Even with all the gang violence that was going on, that is going on, they still cannot take accountability for that because other people will talk about how, well, who put the guns in the neighborhood. I would hear that all the time when I would talk about how the gang violence and how they shooting each other and why isn't anybody doing anything about that? Why has this gang violence been going on for over 40 years in these neighborhoods? Innocent kids have been getting shot in these neighborhoods. Why is it still going on? This has been going on longer than I've been alive, and I'm almost 50. And this is going on. Why isn't anything done about it? I keep hearing this same excuse. Well, who put the guns in there? Well, who put the crack in there? They don't want to take accountability. Just because somebody give you a gun doesn't mean you have to use it. Just because somebody put crack in your face don't mean you have to use it. And if you do use it, then you got to take accountability about what is it that was in you that made you want to do it. And I noticed that the black community don't like to take accountability. So when people become famous and they got poor relatives like that, able-bodied relatives, they have a brain that works, but they don't have no money, I don't think people, just because they become rich, I don't think they owe their family. Now, you have some people that want to take care of their parents. People naturally want to take care of their parents, even if their parents didn't do anything for them, okay? Because I don't think Clarissa Shields has a supporting parents. Clarissa Shields' mother, I don't believe, validated her. And you know what? Mothers should validate their daughters. Listening to the Cousins interview with Tasha K, she said that the mother never really validated Clarissa Shields, and the mother will always coddle the boys, but never, ever really validated Clarissa Shields. You know what? I get sick of this with the black community talking about, you don't have to seek validation. When you're grown, I get people saying that to you when you're grown, but when you are a child, the problem with the black community is that, you shouldn't have to seek validation, but the problem with the black community is that they make it their point to tear down their children, some of them, right? Especially black mothers and their daughters, okay? Not all of them, but a whole lot. They don't get along too well. And I'm talking about the mothers who are really jealous of their children, or just the mothers who just feel like the daughter might look like the father, or whatever reasons why the mother can't stand the daughter. Okay? For whatever reasons, it's a huge problem. Okay? And little children do need to be validated. I really don't like that about the black community, to say don't seek validation. You don't have to seek it when you're older. But when you're a little girl, when you're a little boy or whatever, a child, children should be validated. Okay? They should be. And Clarissa Shields didn't get that. And I saw one of Clarissa Shields' fight when after she won her fight. She like, mama, like she still wanted this validation from her mama. Okay? So anyway, Clarissa Shields is taking so much care of her family and her father and her mother, as if they did so much for her, and they didn't. But at the same time, she's unappreciated. So it makes me look at Glorilla's situation like, see, this is why I say she didn't owe them anything. Because had she done that, spending all her money on them like that, the way Clarissa Shields did, they probably would have disliked her too, because the black community tends to do that to each other. Okay? But anyway, that is it, and I will talk later.